Welcome back, football fans, everyone. I hope you are well. Welcome back to Football Therapy with, I guess, your host, me, Jan. I say host now because I'm branding the channel Football Therapy rather than Jan's. So welcome back to Football Therapy, and today I'm going to do a Q&A. Right, so I'm doing this in celebration of reaching over 1,000 subscribers. So yeah, thank you to everyone who subscribed to my channel, firstly, and if you have not yet subbed, but you're watching this video for some reason, hey guys, do the right thing and subscribe to the channel. So essentially, thank you to everyone who subscribed and has been watching my videos and has been engaging on my videos. It means a lot, but what I want to do generally is I want to start interacting more with the viewers and, you know, making it a little bit more interactive, just fun, something fun for you guys to feel involved. So I reached out to do a Q&A. A bunch of people that I know on social media and a couple others gave me some questions. Now, the way I did it is I requested that you comment on my last video a question. Granted, I didn't leave much time for you guys to write questions, so I only got a few. And disclaimer, all you viewers know that this is a football channel, not exclusively about Chelsea, but you will probably know I am a Chelsea fan. So, fair warning, 90% or pretty much bar a couple of these questions are all about Chelsea. So, fans of other teams, don't worry, you'll be safe in the knowledge that I will continue to do all sorts of videos, not just about Chelsea, about all sorts of football stuff. But hopefully you enjoyed this video anyway, because it should be interesting. Regardless to it being mainly Chelsea Football Club. So I got a bunch of questions here. I'm gonna get into it, starting with the YouTube handle Jesse Pinkman, the blue meth cooking punk. I don't think it's probably really him. Anyway, whoever this is, if you've had to choose 4 players from the loan army to be integrated into the first team next season, who would you pick? So this is Chelsea. 4 loan players to bring back, because Chelsea have got a transfer ban. They've got to make use of these players. So let's get into it. I think, you know what, one that I've been thinking about a lot and probably would be first on the list is Kurt Zouma. Now, Kurt Zouma coming back to Chelsea, if you look at the current deal in football and what's going on, he's kind of like a 50-60 million pound signing. But now think about this, right? He is a seasoned Premier League player. He's a France international. He's like starting for France, scoring goals, apparently, keeping clean sheets. You know, he's relatively young, quite young, and like I said, he's experienced in the Premier League. If you think, and he's been playing well for Everton. Right, for an example, if you think of like Harry Maguire, Leicester, similar sort of level to Kurt Zouma, or excuse me, similar sort of level to Everton, right? Maguire starts for England, Zouma starts for France, and they're both a sort of similar tier club. Now, Harry Maguire is being linked to the Manchester clubs for 80 million. That's mental. Now, to start in the France squad is probably a better achievement than starting in the England squad anyway. So I think Harry Maguire would have an additional premium on his name because he's English. But still, even if it's not, you know, 80 million's silly, but if you look at Zouma, look at his achievements and his current status in the game, yeah, I'd say, you know what, he's a 60 million pound player, so having him back, I'm a grown man drinking Ribena out of a carton. And I don't care. So Zouma, number 1. You know what? Regardless to how you think that affects the Chelsea side in terms of partnerships, you know, like relationship dynamics between 2 centre-backs, if you think he'd fit or if he's too much like Rudy. You know what? Like this video if you would have Kurt Zouma starting as a centre-back for Chelsea. And if you wouldn't, tell me why. Tell me why. To comment your partnership on your preferred Chelsea centre-back partnership. You know what, in fact, if you're watching this video and you've been watching other videos, just get down in the comments. I want to start interacting. I always respond, generally. So if you want to, you know, have an exchange with me, comment on the video and I'll be down there. So yeah, I'll go back to the question. Zouma, Reece James has already been recalled. I know he's got his injury, but he'll be one, absolutely. I don't think anyone would dispute that with the season he's had for Wigan. Need a striker, understudy to Giroud. So yeah, Abraham's got to be another one. Personally, I prefer him. Another reason to like the video. Like the video if you prefer Abraham to Batshuayi, and if you don't, comment why. So I'll choose Tammy Abraham, Reece James, Zuma for the extended reasons I went on about, and probably Mason Mount. He already said his goodbyes to Derby via a social media message. So Mason Mount, that's a good 4. Yeah, I think that's a good 4. If you know, a lot of you would be Chelsea fans watching, comment your preferred 4 loanees to be recalled. Maybe you agree with me. You can just tell me you agree with me, or I'd be interested to read what your 4 preferred recalls would be, or certainly your 4 players that you think could be implemented into the team best. All right, my man Rich. He's questioning about Roman hiring back. Again, this is going to be Chelsea for a while. Either Mourinho or fat Spanish waiter Benitez, bless him. Okay, so firstly, there's nothing in the Benitez rumours. It's just journos having a bit of fun. I think Mourinho would be a bad choice to come back. And you know what? Maybe Rich hasn't watched my previous video, so I'd urge everyone to watch my last video, because I go into detail about Mourinho's potential return to the Premier League, and I do it in such a way of I talk about how it's a bad idea for Chelsea. But he has been rumoured to return and join Newcastle. Now, that might be a bit like a sensational nonsense, but I list a few reasons why I think that would really suit Jose, because the fans would rally behind him. There'd be huge theoretical investment if that happens, which suits him, because he gets to buy players he wants and builds it in his image. He gets to, yeah, like I say, rally the fans and play pragmatic football. That would suit him. It's a big club, and he likes like big clubs, even if they're not a superpower anymore. They're a big club, Newcastle. And also, he gets to play the underdog card, which he's always thrived on. It's only when he got to Manchester United, when he wasn't allowed to play that anymore, he was screwed. I mean, I even talk about, to a degree, he had the underdog card at Real Madrid. So go back and watch that last video. I'll go into the Mourinho return in detail. Excuse me, so check that out, and yeah, check it out, Rich, and check it out, everyone viewing this video. Jack Garden, what's going on, brother? Where did your love for Chelsea begin? Yeah, it's a lot of Chelsea questions. When I was a kid, my dad was a Chelsea fan. I was really young. Well, I remember liking Chelsea when I was like very, very young. I say that in inverted commas because I sort of played football. I wasn't like so devoted in it. My best mate that I met when I was very little, he's a Chelsea fan, his dad's a Chelsea fan. It all sort of just fell into place, and I think my dad lived in West London at one point. So yeah, the thing is though, interestingly, if you're interested in my sort of story, for a very long period I was not interested in football. I sort of, through my teens and early 20s, I kind of like knew it existed, and I had mates that watched it. But for me, I was a kind of a bit of a bad kid and got interested in other things. And the football culture at the time for me, like the lads who followed football, played football in like secondary school, they're all kind of a bit Spice Boysy for me. And I just wasn't into it. But I'm 30 years old now, and the last sort of 10 years I've gradually got back, you know, so always sort of said I supported Chelsea because I always did, but I got back into it properly, and more and to the point of the last sort of 5 or 6 years I got really obsessed as a sort of football nerd. I mean, if you've been following this channel for a while, you'll see how I'm into stats and analysis and stuff, and I became more of like, I guess, a football purist, which is a bit of a wanky word, but you know what I mean. So, huge Chelsea fan, but over time, that's how I just got into the game way more, like a bit more of a nerd. My homie Jimmy Funnel, what's going on, brother? Chelsea podcast extraordinaire, Chelsea Echo writer Jimmy Funnel. Yeah, I hope he's watching this. Well, he better be. Who'll be taking over the role of Hazard while Callum Hudson-Odoi is out injured still. So, no, I've talked about how I think Chelsea will be better systematically or systemically, whatever term you want to use, without Hazard, without relying on the individual. And I've spoken about that at length in different videos or posts on social and stuff. But I think Jimmy's probably talking about position on the pitch. And whether you like it or not, I think that'll be Willian, because people struggle with Willian often for Chelsea, and his numbers are really poor. But regardless, he does play better on the left. That's his like native position. So if he has one more sort of season at Chelsea, a swan song, where he can cut in on his right foot and sort of run around a lot, play him on the left and play Christian Pulisic on the right. And I guess they could still both interchange comfortably, those two players. So yeah, I think Willian will sort of pull rank on the left side for the next season, the sort of transitional season. Pulisic on the right, and then Hudson-Odoi eventually to come back in, and Pedro obviously to rotate. So essentially the two youngsters will be Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic, and then we've got the two senior wingers. And when the ban's lifted, there will be investment for a wide forward. You can bet your bottom dollar, and a goal-scoring one. Yeah, Jimmy, that's my opinion, bro. I'm sure you have yours. Let's carry on. Okay, Will Rayner, what's going on, man? You should follow Will Rayner on Twitter. Big Chelsea account, nice guy. What kind of numbers do you think Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic will get in the league in terms of goals and assists? Interesting. So Hudson-Odoi will be out for a while. Well, for a bit at the beginning of the season. I know he's apparently walking without crutches, but he won't get the sort of full season. And this is league, so I can only speculate with Hudson-Odoi, because even when he starts training again, when he'll be properly rotated back into the side, we don't know. We can only speculate. Kind of the same for Pulisic. You know what? Like, for the beginning of next season, Pedro and Willian might be starting on the flanks until the others can be trained in the system a bit more. Chelsea fans won't want to hear that, but that could happen. So let's speculate. Say Hudson-Odoi gets best part of the season. I think if he finds a bit of form, he'll bang a few in. I think Hudson-Odoi, if I'm really trying to be positive, I think he might get 12 contributions in the league. So maybe like 7 goals, 5 assists. That'd be really good. That's like, for a teenager still who's come back from a major injury, that would be excellent. Pulisic has never been a high scorer, but with the whole season trying to be, if Pulisic got 6 goals and 5 assists in his first season for Chelsea and he was being rotated in, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. But to be really positive for Pulisic, apparently he's a really hard worker and he wants to get his head down, really devote himself to the cause, and he's young and dynamic, and if he starts being told to try and bang more shots, Pulisic might get, 7 and 7. If he starts from the beginning, that would be great. People can't think, really we need goals out of a striker and midfield. If Chelsea get more goals out of the midfield and the striker, then these kind of contributions from wide forwards, and then rotated Pedro and Willian, if they get similar, if they all get those sort of similar amount of contributions being rotated, suddenly it looks a bit better, But yeah, if Pulisic gets like 10 goals and 8 assists, or 8 goals and 10 assists, that's been like an excellent debut season for him. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Yeah, I mean, if you're a Chelsea fan and you're watching this, comment your opinions on Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic. I'll be really interested to hear what you think the numbers they might get. If you're more ambitious than I, write it down, comment down below. Let me know what numbers you think they could probably get or possibly get. Or you might be more cynical and worry more than me and do write something completely opposite. Okay, so there's 2. I'll end with these 2, and they're not un-Chelsea related, which is good. Jordan Carroll, thanks for taking me away from Chelsea for a little bit, mate. What do you think of Mesut Ozil at Arsenal and the season he's had? So this is interesting. I find this kind of stuff really interesting because huge household name in the Premier League, and he's been underwhelming. I think I saw this earlier. I think I've got a tab still open. Yes, I do. So yes. Yeah, this is poor, man. So Ozil's had 5 goals and 2 assists in the Premier League in 20 appearances, so still quite a lot. But yeah, so he takes 0. Yeah, so basically the stats are really bad. I'm looking at them now. He was obviously Emery preferred Ramsey to him. He's not an industrious number 10. He's very much a mercurial luxury player, and how the Premier League is now, especially in the teams that can't afford, like sort of team like Arsenal can't afford a passenger. No real top tier teams can. Well, that's hard to say, but certainly less so the 4 scrapping in the top 6. You know, you can't have that. So I think Arsenal should offload him. Honestly, I feel like the same way Man United need to offload Alexis Sanchez, the high earners that are sort of, even if they don't choose to be, their presence is toxic for one reason or another. And, you know, we could, I don't know where it'd go, Bayern Munich, fuck knows, like, it is a very difficult one with Ozil. Would they want to play like him? Like, that's the thing, he's got this like negative mark on his name now, so it's really interesting. It's really interesting to see what happens next season. Obviously, I reckon the club want to offload him personally and rebuild with like a proper structured new 11 and invest maybe in youth or some. They obviously don't have Champions League, but they can still get some decent tier European players that will help the sort of collective cause more so than Ozil. So, you know, if they flogged him for X amount, they could probably buy 2 decent youngsters from Europe. But it's going to be difficult because no one's going to want to pay his wages. So similar with Alexis Sanchez. Finishing with my mate Sadiq. He banged the question in just as I was driving to the studio to record. So, Worldwide Chelsea. Subscribe to Worldwide Chelsea if you are a Chelsea fan. Check him out on Twitter. He asked me a YouTube related question, which is a nice one to end on. What made you choose YouTube? What are your dreams on social medias in the coming years? A potential career? ? Well, I mean, everyone has a positive ambition for like YouTube and social media. Many of you will know I've got a podcast. I've just finished my debut season, like 45 odd episodes. I've had Sadiq on before. I'd love to do it because I love expressing my obsessive opinions on football to media platforms. So for me, YouTube became an obvious one after a season of the podcast. I mean, I love having a presence on Twitter. I haven't got, you know, I've got over, on my Chelsea Twitter, I've got over 13,000, which sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot. And I like having a platform to express myself and exchange thoughts and opinions on football with other people. But I didn't want that to be exclusively Chelsea anymore, hence making my other Twitter page, which was formerly Jan the Statman, now Football Therapy, like my channel Football Therapy, because I don't want to limit myself to Chelsea. To go back to the question, it's interesting because people might not know a lot about me generally, but I studied music. I do music production. I've got a degree in it. I did stuff before the degree in studying, and that's kind of translated well to me editing and filming and doing sound production. And, you know, the theme to my YouTube channel, if some of you wondered, is one of my tracks. It's called Thought. You know, it's one of my more popular tracks, and I always do music and like enjoying to do music, but for me, I'm so obsessed with football. I can always talk about football that, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to get some more stuff out of it, and I hope if you're watching this video and you do enjoy my content that you will continue to watch it and support me. And if you want me to do better and more content, then hopefully I can grow to deliver that. So, you know, tell your friends, like the video, subscribe to this channel if you have not already subscribed. But yeah, thanks guys. You know what, I'm going to round it up. Like I said, I'm really interested in hearing all your thoughts. So you're watching this, comment down below. I'm keen getting all your opinions on the stuff I've talked about, or if you just have any questions about me and the channel, like Worldwide Chelsea's asked here, stuff like that. I'm always happy to have exchanges about. Yeah, again, thank you again for over 1,000 subs now. I think I'm, you know, pushing on like 1,100 or something, or certainly I've cleared comfortably 1,000. So I want to keep growing, and hopefully I can deliver really good content for you guys and just sort of enrich people's lives with football nerd nonsense from myself. So yeah, that's it guys. I'm going to keep moving. Take it easy and enjoy the football.
so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.